Minister of Finance, Republic of Indonesia, Her Excellency Sri Mulyani Indrawati. Minister of Communication and Informatics, Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency Rudiantara. Governor of Bali Province, His Excellency Made Mangku Pastika. Ambassador Japan to Indonesia, Honorable Mr. Masafumi Ishii. Excellencies, prominent speaker, moderator, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you, and welcome to one of the Voyage to Indonesia programs, Seminar on Human Capital as a New Driving Force of the Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have the welcome remarks delivered by Governor of Bali. I'm pleased to invite Bapak Made Mangku Pastika to deliver his welcome remark.
Your Excellency, the Minister of Finance of the Republic of Indonesia, Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati, congratulations. I'm very also proud, all Indonesians, especially Balinese, because you are not nominated, you are awarded as the best minister in the world. Congratulations. We are very proud of that. Ministers of Cabinet Kerja of the Republic of Indonesia, Your Excellency Ambassador of Japan, distinguished speakers, guests, participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, allow me to express my warmest welcome and gratitude to all of you, ministers, gentlemen, ladies, distinguished speakers. Welcome to Bali, the island of gods, island of paradise, island of peace and democracy, island of tolerance, and last but not least, the island of love. The last title we got after the film starred by the pretty woman, Julia Roberts, with the title Eat, Pray, and Love. She tried to find happiness in Italy first, to have pasta, pizza, gelato, and all those things with all the parties. Cannot find happiness. She decided to go to India to pray, to practice yoga and everything. A very hard exercise, still couldn't find happiness. Then she decided to go to Bali. Here in Bali, she found her true love here. That is the true happiness. So, I'm very happy to have all of you here in Bali. For those who is not coming with your couples, your beloved one, please come again to Bali and renew and strengthen your love here. For singles, come again to Bali, do your wedding party here. I guarantee your love will become eternally. I will be your guest if you don't mind. I will come to your wedding party. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, very warm welcome to all of you. I understand that this meeting is very important for all the human beings, for the development of the economy, because in this conference or seminar or meeting, you are going to discuss about the human capital investment. For Bali, this is also very important. I always said to the Balinese that the human resources quality and development is the most important one in our development here in Bali. Bali is a very small island. There's only 0.29% of Indonesia. Very, very small. We have 4.2 million citizens in Bali. Small island with a big number of population, plus the tourists, foreigners and domestic is about 20 million a year come to Bali. So, the human resources is very important for us, Bali, because we don't have any natural resources here in Bali. We don't have gold, silver, or gas, or oil, or timber. We don't have, like other provinces in Indonesia. All we have is the human resources. All we have is the culture. All we have is this tiny island, this very small island with a beautiful scenery and good climate. That is all thing that we have. So the most important the most important thing for us is the human resources development. Hopefully, this meeting will discuss all about this, and in the future will become also one of the way to develop Balinese and Indonesian human resources to face the next challenge of the development of the sustainable economy in the world. I hope the vibration of Bali, the beauty of Bali will give you motivation and inspiration to discuss all these very important issues. I hope you will enjoy your stay in Bali. After the meeting, I know your very tight schedules, but however, after the meeting, spend 2 or 3 more days in Bali, stay, explore the uniqueness of Bali and enjoy our beach around here. Have a nice meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bapak Made Mangku Pastika. Please be seated again. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are very much honored to have keynote speech delivered by Minister of Finance, Republic of Indonesia. I am now very pleased to invite Her Excellency Sri Mulyani Indrawati to deliver her keynote speech.
Very good morning to all of you. Om Swastiastu. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is really an honor for me to welcome you all and express my sincere gratitude to all of you, the panelists, the moderators, the participants for taking part in this event. Yang saya hormati tentu Pak Menteri Rudiantara, my colleague, Ibu Armida, the former Minister of Bappenas, Pak Gubernur, which is giving us a very nice opening selling of Bali, which is always lovely, and all the panelists who's coming from far away as well as coming from Indonesia. We all know that this event is part of the Voyage to Indonesia. We were with Christine Lagarde, and she said Voyage. For the bank side, Jim Kim will say Voyage. So the IMF and World Bank will say Voyage and Voyage to Indonesia. I think they are all valid. This is a series program conducted in the lead up to the 2018 World Bank Group IMF annual meetings, which will be held in Bali in early October 2018. Under this series of Voyage to Indonesia events, the Ministry of Finance has been organizing activities to promote Indonesia as a proud host of the annual meeting. More broadly, the programs also aims to showcase Indonesia as a reformed, resilient, and progressive and dynamic nation. The outcome of this particular seminar will be further discussed with the global stakeholders at the 2018 annual meeting as part of the whole Voyage to Indonesia flagship program. On this occasion, let me take the opportunity to update you on, first, the global economic environment, and then to the economic environment in Indonesia, and of course, at the end, the perspective on human capital as a driver of the economy. Let me start with the current development in the economy. The global economic outlook is showing positive sign of an upswing. The International Monetary Fund project that global growth will accelerate to 3.7% for 2017, and it's going to increase to 3.9% in 2018 and 19. Global trade is also expected to pick up to almost double comparing to the very weak 2016. However, it is still very unclear whether this positive global growth momentum can be sustained because of so many risks and uncertainty. Of particular concern is a prolonged and broad-based weaknesses in the global productivity growth since the global financial crisis. As you all know, prior to the 2008-2009 global financial crisis, developing countries had been experiencing a rapid acceleration in labor productivity growth. In contrast, average productivity growth in developed countries has been on longer-term downward trends. In recent years, while productivity growth in developing economies has been steadfast than in developed countries, its pace of increase has slowed considerably. This is especially compared to the pre-crisis period. These persistent weaknesses in productivity growth has generated widespread concern given that it is a long-term determinant of income, and improvement in living standard. For developing countries, prolonged weak productivity growth will not only adversely impact medium-term growth prospects, but may also severely undermine progress in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. Going forward, the downside risks on the global growth remain with China economic rebalancing, security, and geopolitical volatility, and also increasing threat of protectionism. The world also awaits how the United States, Eurozone, and Japan, as well as China, will steer their monetary policy, especially related to balancing between the growth, inflation, and of course, employment. And the socio-economic impact of climate change, natural disasters, human capital, and technological automation should not be understated in the long run. While we welcome the recent improvement in growth, it remains uneven distributed across countries and regions. Economic prospects for many commodity exporters remain particularly challenging. Negligible growth in per capita GDP is anticipated in several parts of Africa, Western Asia, Latin America, and the Caribbean. The impacted regions are home of 275 million people living in extreme poverty. So without sustained economic growth, the chance for all those countries, especially for the people, to be improved in terms of their welfare will becoming even tougher. To achieve the goals of eradicating poverty and addressing inequality, improving productivity, and creating a decent job is actually become a long-term issue that hold back in many of the economy in achieving the Sustainable Development Goal. Human capital is a key to reducing poverty and addressing inequality. Global evidence shows that human capital is a key factor which drives economic around the world. Realizing this condition, in recent decades, governments all around the world have made valuable investment in human capital, which resulted in major gain. Child mortality is down 50%. There are 40% now fewer children out of primary education. And there is at least one social safety net program in every country. Although this policy brings positive impact, yet billions of people, including young children, still lack the right of nutrition, quality of education, early stimulation and learning, as well as necessary skill for job in rapidly digitalized world economy. Health factors is a critical issue to discuss when it comes to the quality of human capital. So I'm glad that we have the Minister of Health, BPJS, is coming and also participating in this seminar. Around 400 million people in the world lack access to essential health service, and 100 million each year fall into poverty as a result of health-related expense. Government need to put an extra attention on the health sector to ensure that people get the right nutrition. Malnutrition is one of the world's most serious but least addressed development challenges. Its human and economic costs are enormous, falling hardest on the poor, especially women and children. The World Bank estimate, and we are going to hear from Greta from the World Bank, the Chief Economist of Human Development Global Practice, that if stunting, which is defined as a low height to age ratio as a sign of chronic malnutrition, if stunting had been eliminated among today's workers when they were children, the average country would have 7% greater GDP per capita. That's huge. The cost of investment far outweighed the gains. Yet, for 155 million children remain stunted worldwide. And Indonesia, we also face with this challenge. Investment in the physical, cognitive, and emotional development of children since pre-birth until they enter primary school are also critical for the future productivity of individuals and certainly for the whole economy. This will improve the economic competitiveness of the country. So investing in early year is one of the solutions for a country to end poverty, to address inequality, and to address the issue of improvement or increasing productivity. Evidence-based on 20 years study of children in Jamaica by Nobel laureate James Heckman, Paul Gettler, and others shows that disadvantaged young children who receive high-quality early stimulation intervention as infants and toddlers earn up to 25% higher wages as an adult that is equivalent to adults who grew up in a wealthier household. So intervention, especially in the poor household, for the poor children at the very early stage is very critical in cutting the vicious circle of poverty. It is also key to underline the importance of education in human capital. And I'm also glad that many of my colleagues from the Ministry of Education is also here. Cognitive skill of the population rather than merely school attainment are powerfully related to individual earning, to the distribution of income, as well as, most importantly, to economic growth. Millions of children are unable to understand simple sentence or do simple arithmetic even after having been completed their primary school. So they said that they've already graduated primary school, but even when they were asked by a simple or read simple sentence or do simple arithmetic, they are unable to do it. It indicates that there is a problem in the existing educational system that can be lead to the learning crisis. The crisis is serious, economic, and this is really a serious, not only a human tragedy in a way, it also become and lead to the economic issue. But this can be solved by providing attention to the quality of education and better management of education system. A good quality and better management of the education system can create a potential human capital that foster more innovation and positively impact the economy. In concert with the education and health, one of the government tools in supporting human capital investment is adopted by many developing countries is providing social protection. Social protection can play an important role in poverty reduction and making growth inclusive, especially for the poor. With the well-managed social protection program, people can access to the education and health facility. Healthy and educated people will have a better chance to compete in the digital economy. Today, the nature of work is changing and shifting in line with technological advancement. The current development of automation enabled by new technology, including robots, artificial intelligence, bring the promise of higher productivity, increased efficiency, safety, and convenience. At the same time, these technologies also raise difficult question about the broader impact of automation on job, skill, wages, and the nature of work itself. Many activities that workers carry out today have the potential to be automated. The World Economic Forum estimated that 5 million jobs will be lost or replaced by 2020 due to the technology. For policymakers, business leaders, and workers themselves, the shift creates considerable uncertainty alongside potential benefit. The working environment needs to provide an adequate opportunity for workers to grow and reskill. And in fact, yesterday during another Voyage to Indonesia seminar with the IMF, Bank Indonesia, we also discussing about this, the technology that can destroy jobs but also create a new opportunity. Singapore is one of the countries that really think very meticulously about how they are going to design the education system and learning and reskilling workers all year long on a long life of the worker. So the concept of education is no longer just what you call it formal education in school, but should be the whole year of life for any human being have the ability to continue learning and reskill. For this is also one of the issues which is being discussed now constantly and with the intensity, because all policymakers really facing an urgent need. And especially because the nature of education, you need to invest in the long term. The investment today will have the implication in the 20 years, 15 years from now. In addition to the government focusing on a formal education, currently a lot of government also pay attention to develop vocational education and training program to respond to the changing of the global work environment. The government effort should also be supported by the business community, because there is no way that the government knows everything. It is the business who actually have the ability to understand as well as to predict what is going to happen in the near future. So the collaboration between government, business community, and education institution is become a must. Human capital investment is the foundation of prosperity and a key driver of high income growth. Unleashing the human potential is a force multiplier that creates limitless potential. For that reason, I would like to challenge us all here to not limit our ambition in eliminating extreme poverty. We should aim for prosperity and the well-being for everyone. So let me now turn to the page to the issue of the Indonesian own context. Even amidst challenges, Indonesia's economic fundamentals remain healthy. In 2017, our economy grew by 5.07%, higher than 2016 of 5.03%. GDP component grew positively, supported by the stimulation or the recovery of export as well as investment in addition to the household spending. Government spending and investment increased by 2.14% and 6.15%. This is the first time that the investment has been grew more than 6% after a very sluggish growth in the past 3 years. Export were up 9.09% and import increased by 8.06%. As the economy expanded in 2017, Indonesia GDP per capita also increased. Under the leadership of President Jokowi, we are consistent in pursuing our reform agenda because we recognize that building foundation for a higher, more inclusive, better quality growth is something that needs to be done and cannot be delayed. We realize that challenges remain in the road ahead. Structural transformation and economic diversification should be further strengthened to create stronger economic foundation. A stronger foundation will lift economic level, income level, and increasing the productivity of the people. We can and we will be able to create a better, higher value added in our economy. This definitely a necessary condition for us to be able to address the issue of poverty as well as inequality. Indonesia, in improving human capital, we are actually following the step which is being taken by many countries, paying attention to education, health, and social safety net. According to the World Economic Forum 2017 Global Human Capital Index, Indonesia ranking has improved on the back of the progress in education. Indonesia now ranks 65th out of 130 countries assessed. I personally feel that this is not a good place. If you compare with the other country, although this is improved from the previous rank of 72 to 65th, but if you compare with even our close neighbor, Singapore, in the 11th position, Malaysia, 33, and even Vietnam, in this case, which is one stage or rank ahead of us. Indonesia certainly has made remarkable progress in educational attainment, especially among the younger generation. We have a compulsory education, but of course, the question about the quality is becoming more and more relevant. As I said earlier, many of the primary graduates, they are not able to even understand a simple sentence reading and do a simple arithmetic problem. The government has launched the compulsory education program or Wajib Belajar of 9 years. We also, in this case, providing the opportunity for the young full family, especially, so that they are not going to be dropped out. We have adopted innovative policy in form of social assistance for poor students called Kartu Indonesia Pintar or Smart Indonesian Card, and Bantuan Operasi Sekolah, that is the School Operational Assistance Program. This hopefully can provide and can assist school in fulfilling their operational cost need. For higher education, the government has also provided Beasiswa Bidik Misi, a scholarship for a college student who have limited economic means. The goal of this program is to make education more inclusive and to improve the quality of Indonesia young generation to be better able to compete globally. We are spending 20% of our budget for education. This is mandatory by our constitution. For this year, we are going to spend 440 trillion rupiah. This is among the highest or the biggest spending post comparing to any other post of spending. Even if you compare with infrastructure, with defense, with health, education is still the top spending item in our budget. And has been for almost 10 years. So people now can ask how we are going to be able to use this money allocated to really improve the quality. A lot of work has been done, and we still feel a lot remain to be improved. In the health sector, as it mandated also by Constitution, the government has allocated 5% of our total budget for healthcare program. The government also committed to reduce cases of stunted growth in children under 5 years old to 5%, and also to reduce cases of underweight in children to below 15%. In this regard, the government has continuously increased the quality of food consumption to deal with malnutrition as well as undernutrition problem by increasing the protein intake consisting of beef, chicken, eggs, and fish. The nutritional intake of children is linked to education due to the impact from parenting behavior and eating patterns. And for the social safety net, one major effort by the government is the implementation of national social security system in the health sector to provide a comprehensive social protection. In 2016, the number of beneficiaries was around 172 million people, or 66.4% of population. This program is one of the largest in the world. Social protection has also been expanded to education, welfare, and employment sectors. Gender equality and equity has been fully integrated in our development agenda, from the planning to the budgeting process. The government of Indonesia has encouraged the participation of women in the political as well as executive sphere. In the political sphere, women are still underrepresented. More needs to be done through continuous dissemination as well as grooming and capacity building for women candidates. But actually, this is not fair. The statement like this is not fair, so I apologize. Because there are so many also men candidates which is not also good quality, but they can be also nominated. When it is women, then everybody will scrutinize, are they qualified or not? But if it's a man, you just assuming that they are qualified only because they are men. So I apologize, this sentence I need to delete. The Indonesia Minister of Finance, our ministry, has launched the initiative called the Indonesia Gender Responsive Budgeting to address gender bias and discrimination. It is a step not only toward accountability to women's rights, but also toward greater public transparency and can shift economic policies leading to gains across society. Indonesia government also pays strong attention to the importance of digital development to the country's future. Technological advance has the potential to boost productivity and income growth. Due to structural barriers, harnessing this potential requires policy reform to be more adaptive with the technological change and to ensure no one is left behind, especially from accessing technology. Future policies need to be integrated and dynamic to facilitate rapid development. Currently, we are working across ministries with the coordinating minister to be able to strengthen even more our ability policy response to this rapid change. And to be honest, Indonesia is not alone. Almost all countries that I discuss with, they are all facing the same challenge. So for us, really learning each other on how we should respond to this kind of changing landscape is very important. By understanding the challenge, the government also introduced key strategic policy. First, Indonesian government enhanced our training curricula for our workers so that they will have a better soft skill. The curricula included new approach to deal with complex problem solving, critical thinking, stimulating creativity, effective human resource management, service orientation, negotiation, cognitive flexibility. On a hard scale, we are improving the curricula for different job qualification and competencies in at least 11 economic subsectors, such as information and technology, fishery, transportation, energy, tourism, and construction. Second, the government of Indonesia also promoted competency-based vocational training and apprentices program. We have been experiencing increasing collaboration among vocational schools with the manufacturing and service industry, benefiting not only the student, but also the teacher. We also can benefit the industry. And third, we improved the qualification requirement and the operation of professional certification institutions across the country. The government also cognizant that technology should be harnessed for the benefit of the people and promote inclusive growth, especially for the poor. The government has enacted various reform and introduced policy package to accelerate technology for inclusive development. Our program, the biggest social safety net program, Keluarga Harapan, Program Keluarga Harapan, or we call it Family Hope Program, which is now expanded from 1.5, 3 million, 6 million, and now reached 10 million, is now, this is a cash transfer for the poor family. We are aiming to integrate with the technological advancement by providing non-cash transfer. The same also for our Prosperous Price or program Rastra Beras Sejahtera. Government also benefited from technology by launching several programs aimed for strengthening governance. Many of the state finance, management, and accountability now based on technology, IT, and becoming more and more transparent. We have built sistem perbendaraan or anggaran negara, e-filing for the taxation, national single window for the customs. I had also a productive discussion with philanthropists, innovators, academia, and policymakers under the initiative, which is initiated by Melinda Gates, that is the pathway for prosperity. We have discussed how technological advancement can contribute to the inclusive growth. Some technology may disrupt or block traditional routes of poverty reduction, but we also very confident that technology can accelerate the solution for the poverty reduction. This kind of discussion and exchange of experience and view between philanthropists, industries, government officials, business, and academia is very, very critical. In closing, let me reiterate that human capital is an important factor for economic growth and reducing poverty and inequality and increasing productivity. It can help to develop economy through the knowledge and skill of peoples. To have knowledgeable and skillful people, investment in health and education is mandatory or important. But the problem is not only what, but how. So this kind of forum, the Voyage to Indonesia, in which we are dedicating the theme for human capital, is a timely and is a very critical one. We do hope with this kind of forum, we will be able to learn from the past, but also can project the future so that all parties, government, academia, international financial institution, business community, and people in general can discuss, anticipate, and prepare for a very exciting, changing future. Indonesia, as a middle-income country, is proud to be able to continue participating in this kind of exchange of learning and experience. We are also ready to participate as well as contribute in exchange of learning, because only a person or a country who is able to continue learn from their own experience as well as others, they are the one who will prevail. This is what I'm actually expecting from this forum. So Indonesia stand ready to contribute to other developing countries through South-South cooperation program, but we also ready to continue learn from others, advanced or even our peer group. I'm convinced that our effort today in Indonesia, as well as our regional, as well as global level of cooperation, will be very critical in creating the world which is more inclusive, it's better and sustained growth that will create prosperity for all. Thank you so much. Om Santi 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 Om.
Thank you very much, Ibu Sri Mulyani Indrawati. Please remain on stage to officially open the seminar. And I request the pleasure of Bapak Made Mangku Pastika to come on stage and accompany Ibu Sri Mulyani to officially open today's seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening of today's seminar will be symbolized by the hitting of gong. Ibu Sri Mulyani, please kindly hit the gong for 3 times in the counting of 3. Yeah, start from 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, the sound of the gong become a symbol of this seminar commencement.